What's up, everybody on YouTube? This is day 2 of CDL classes. So basically, what I want to do is I want to come to you today and give you an idea of what you might be able to be looking forward to on your second day. As I stated in the first video, if I didn't, I'm going to state it now. Not everything that we do is going to be the same as you. I mean, this is just to try to give you an idea of what you're going to be learning. But basically, today was a bust your ass day. Like, holy shit. Okay. Basically, what we did in the book today, and by the way, I wanted to apologize on my last video. I told y'all we went through section 1. Wasn't true. We went through section 2. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, we went over sections 3, 5, and 6 in our CDL books, as I showed you last time. Like I told you, go to any DMV, you can pick up your CDL book. They should all be pretty much about the same. So go in there, and we reviewed sections 3, 5, not reviewed, but we went over sections 3, 5, and 6 and reviewed section 2. That's what we did in the book part today. Sounds simple enough, yeah. Anyways, the biggest focuses for today, what they wanted to show us was brakes, driving, and connection. Okay, when it comes to the brakes, they wanted to show us how they work, how to test them to make sure that your trailer's hooked to your tractor properly, to make sure that you don't pull the freak off and your trailer like fall on the ground. So they want to show you proper techniques of how to check that, and so pretty much that's what we did on the brakes. And he also showed us how to do like a brake test to make sure that you ain't got too much slack in your brake lines. When it comes to driving, it was mainly how to do like recoveries and preventative stuff, and your different emergency maneuvers, like how to evade properly, what to watch out for, stuff like that. And as I said before, connection, pretty obvious. You don't want your freaking trailer coming loose from the back of your tractor. So we went over that thoroughly. And he also taught us what would happen if you were going down the highway and such an incident did happen, whether or not you would lose total braking control. I mean, he went over everything. So, as you may or may not know, you have an emergency, what's it called? What's that thing called? An emergency what valve?
You mean
the thing to keep, no, that stops air from going back.
Oh, tractor protection valve.
Yeah, tractor
protection valve.
Exactly what he said. I got tongue twisted. Anyways, that keeps it from that keeps you from losing all air pressure if you do happen to have a malfunction or if one of your wires break from your trailer. And basically what's going to happen at that point is, as long as it's not your emergency line, now if your regular lines break, you'll lose the air pressure and you won't have brakes coming from your trailer, which sounds bad, but it's not as bad as if your emergency line breaks. If your emergency line breaks, basically your spring brake lock, whatever you want to call it, it's going to slam shut and it's going to pretty much render your trailer immobile and you're going to be freaking sliding down the highway. Anyways, we'll talk more about that later. That's what we basically focused on mainly in what we did in the book. Now, hands-on, we actually got to do quite a bit of hands-on today. Now, of course, we don't have our permits yet, so we weren't allowed to physically be in the truck doing the maneuvers and stuff. But we were showing the spring brakes, as I was just telling you, how they automatically come on whenever the pressure is low. So basically, if you are in your truck and the pressure drops to below to the point of 20 to 45 psi, they're going to automatically come on just as a safety. That way, your shit won't start rolling down a hill if you mess up. Anyways, he also shows how to check the play in the brakes, like I was just telling you. Then we moved to see how the fifth wheel attaches to the kingpin, and more of the connection. And we actually got to see that hands-on, and actually how to move the what was it called, the fifth wheel. We actually got to see how to move the fifth wheel if we needed to adjust that. And we also shown how to check to see if the trailer's locked. Remember what I was telling you before? he shows how to check and be sure that your trailer is properly locked. He actually took us out there and, you know, got in the vehicle and played with us under Let's See. And that was pretty much it for what we had to do in the book and or on our hands-on. Now, after we got done with all that, we had to do our tests, which I was telling you about the other day, what we were studying for last night. The 3 tests that we studied for is actually what you're going to be taking to get your permit. They're the combination, the air brake, and the general knowledge tests. Now, we actually had to do all 3 of them today and turn those in. So be sure you know your shit, which, I mean, being honest, half of it was common sense. Like, seriously, like, okay, if your trailer's starting to jackknife and come around you, should you let off the brake? Yeah. So, I mean, it's just simple stuff like that. But some of it was technical, so, I mean, don't take this off as a joke like it's going to be easy. I mean, especially if you don't know anything about automotive or any common sense when it comes to basic driving. Anyways, all that said and done, that was our day today. Now tomorrow, I've actually got to go early in the morning and attempt to get my CDL permit, and I'll let y'all know how that goes tomorrow. Hopefully, like I said, I've studied pretty well. I've got a pretty good general idea of what I'm doing. There are a few things I just want to go back and review tonight before I go to sleep. But yeah, tune in tomorrow to see how it goes, and pass, fail, or cry, I'm going to be here to tell you what goes on. Alright, you guys, Lucky 13 out. Deuces.